Mob Psycho just changed anime forever. If you haven't heard of Mob Psycho is one of my favorite animes made by the same people that make One Punch Man, and it is absolutely a masterpiece. But before I get into that, my name is Brian, the Casual Brian, and this is Brian Casually Explains, the place where I explain some of my more popular thoughts on anime or my popular shorts, because shorts are just that. They're short, and so sometimes I don't have enough time to go into all the details about why I like things or my thoughts on things. So if you enjoy this series, be sure to like and subscribe for more so you don't miss any of Brian Casually Explains. So Mob Psycho just finished season 3, and I cannot explain to you how good this anime is. Mob Psycho was already my top 5 for sure, but top 3 favorite anime. I want to say 2 or 3. You know, I'd been vacillating between World Trigger and Mob Psycho. I really enjoy World Trigger, but now after the completion of season 3, Mob Psycho is now my favorite anime currently. It used to be One Piece. I still love One Piece. And to be fair to One Piece, I haven't watched One Piece in a long time. I'm still reading the manga, but I want to be anime only, because it's just watching it week to week is a little bit too slow for me. So I'm focusing on letting them finish Wano. Once Wano finishes, then I'm going to get back to it. That might have some sway, but I don't think it is, because the reason why I love Mob Psycho and the reason why I started this video saying that Mob Psycho just changed everything, Mob Psycho took an entire season to develop one character. As they were developing that one character, Shigeo Kageyama, Mob, all the other characters develop. And it's not just started. It hasn't just started in season 3. It's been there the whole time. And what's crazy is that I've been watching Mob Psycho for years, like 3, 4, I can't remember exactly when Mob Psycho came out. I know Mob. I know Shigeo. And when it got to the end, I realized I didn't know him. And the way I realized it is through Reagan. Mob Psycho is possibly a perfect anime because there's something for everybody. Whatever you like, whatever you want, there is something in there for you. Whether you're into romance, whether you're into slice of life, whether you're into battle, whether you're into sci-fi, whether you're into horror, whether you're into humor, whatever you want, they have it, and they do it amazing. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I believe One Punch Man is so successful, because they do such an amazing job of satire for the rest of anime. I tell people, a lot of people, I've heard people say that they would recommend One Punch Man for a starter anime. I could not disagree more. I think One Punch Man is a terrible anime to start with because it makes fun of so many other anime, and there's so many anime tropes that you wouldn't really fully appreciate it. You wouldn't get it. You might laugh, you might enjoy a fight, but you're not going to fully appreciate characters like Bang, characters like Pig God, Genos' character, all the villains and their long monologues. They do such a great job of satire. I think a lot of people say that Gintama is that type of show. I don't really find the humor of Gintama to be the same as One Punch Man. Now, that's my subjective opinion. I'm going to lean towards humor. I mean, comedy is very subjective. It's personal. So it's not like a right or wrong thing or a black or white thing. It's just that's how I enjoy it. But for me, One Punch Man, especially if you're somebody who's really into anime, is a much better, is much more funny, I should say. But the authors, the mangakas of One Punch Man are just so knowledgeable of anime, and it just really shines. I already was leaning towards Mob Psycho being a brilliant masterpiece, a work of art in season 2. See, in fact, up until this season 2, episode 1 was one of my favorite episodes in all anime. Just like a beautiful love story, with Mob. It's easy because the animation is amazing and they have crazy powers and crazy fight scenes, and they scale really well. But it's easy to get caught up in the battle side of Mob Psycho that you forget that it's really about a person accepting who they are. That's what the whole story is about. And you're seeing it through all the different characters, but it comes to a peak in Mob, because Mob, although he's afraid of who he is, because he's a powerful person and he doesn't want to hurt anybody. So he's afraid to let his emotions come out. And so it creates this dual personality But that's who he is. That's him. That's the person. He's been suppressing himself. I'm telling you what, man. The moment, and I'm sorry. I got to get better at this. Spoilers. There's gonna be some spoilers. I should have said it at the very beginning of the anime. I might even make a clip to let people know there's gonna be some spoilers. But spoilers. When Reigen gets to the point where he gives his speech at the end, I cannot tell you how hard that hit me. As a content creator, it's easy to feel like you're wearing a mask. You know what I mean? Like, I strive to try to be myself because I don't want to. I feel like the less you have to put on a mask, pretend to be something that you're not, the harder it's going to be for you to sustain the career, you know? So I try to really stay close to myself. But even still, it's very easy, not just within content creation, but just in life in general, to feel like you're not really the person that you're presenting yourself as. Imposter syndrome is what a lot of people talk about. And I thought Reigen's vulnerability to Mob in an attempt to get him to accept who he is was such a beautiful gesture. And it's just done so well. And another thing that I think a lot of people miss is Mob Psycho is brilliant with their use of music. In fact, I want to do just a whole video breaking down their use of music because it's so amazing. They're just so good at it. So why did I say that Mob Psycho changed anime? Well, there's been an anime that's been similar to this. I would say Parasite, and there probably are others, but that I've seen, that I've heard about. Parasite is a similar thing where the whole time the MC is just being developed and changed, but not in the same way. In fact, at the beginning of season 3, I kind of felt it was going too slow because I didn't really appreciate or understand where they were taking the season. And in the 5th or 6th episode, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. I see what they're working towards. And I was here for it. There were 3 main points in season 3 that I felt like were just beautiful. And they could probably be in my top 5 favorite episodes. Top 10. Let me stop tripping. I'm still responding very, very, I'm over responding because it's recent. It's fresh in my mind. The episode where Dimple, he, in the tree and they have the battle. That's the first one. The alien episode was brilliantly done. I mean, the only episode that I could compare something like that to is like BoJack Underwater, where it's an entire episode where they don't speak at all. And it's just done through music and acting, and it's absolutely amazing. And the episode where they are abducted by aliens, they're not abducted, but they're invited to hang with the aliens in season 3 is absolutely brilliant. It's possible. It's hard to say that because it still feels like it's my favorite episode in the season. That being said, the season finale is also pretty amazing. But I feel like the season finale was more about the moment between Mob and Reigen that was so beautiful, so well done. The use of the theme song, I mean, just next level. Mob Psycho is just next level. And so that's why I say that they changed it. I can't imagine any show where they take the entire season to develop one character, the character, which, the effect of it is that it spills into all the other characters because they examine themselves and they're it's so brilliant because as Mob is walking and Mob loses control. I've already said spoilers. Mob gets hit by a car, which causes him to lose control and become his darker self. And the reason why is because back in the day, he was hit by a car. And that's the first time he let his emotions get out of control. And so the trauma of that triggered him and it happened again. And so as everyone's walking up to try to stop him, they're being confronted with themselves as well. The realness of who they are. In the face of Mob's overwhelming power, they're having to see, his brother realizes I'm stronger than I thought I was. And this is why I have power, but he's not strong enough. Some other people from his past come. It's just, I don't think that many shows have the patience to just, and the faith in the fan base to believe that people would wait and get it. And because of it, I'm telling you, it takes a lot. I love One Piece. And I don't doubt that by the end of it, it will retake the #1 spot. But for me to say that I like Mob Psycho more than One Piece, that's a big thing. One Piece is my anime. It's my jam. Luffy is one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character. Probably not my favorite character, but he's one of them. Just Mob, man. It's just brilliant. I have to rewatch it, you know? I mean, because I feel like as I watched it, I probably missed a good part of enjoying the beginning of it because I thought it was slow. Now, reason why I thought it was slow is because this season we have Bleach, we have Chainsaw Man, and we have Blue Lock. It's just pure adrenaline, pure energy, and they're all great anime. And you know, up until the season finale, I thought it was Blue Lock. That was my favorite of the season, of the fall anime season. But now, I gotta give it to Mob. I gotta give it to Mob Psycho. It's just brilliant, you know? It's just brilliant, and I just can't, I couldn't believe that I thought, okay, it's going to be half development towards Mob, and then they're going to transition to like some main villain. No main villain. Mob was the main villain. His inner self. You know? The whole like cliche, the enemy is inner me. But that was the truth. And they took a whole season to develop that very concept. And it was brilliantly done. The pacing was done well. And to get to the last scene, the last moment of the show and see Mob smiling, you know, I realized in that moment that I had never seen Mob smile. You don't even realize it. I never realized that. I mean, I think he's kind of grinned or smirked, or, you know, he's been happy, but I've never seen Mob smile from the bottom of his heart. And it was such a touching thing. You know, Reagan just letting them know, man, I don't have powers. I've never had any powers. You know, just completely being vulnerable. I think many of us, we feel afraid to be vulnerable. We feel like if we let people know who we really are, they're not going to accept us, or they're not going to like us, or they're not going to think we're cool. They're not going to think this or that. We deal with this a lot in music. Music is a very difficult thing because in music, you could be great and people just not get it. You know, you could be great. A lot of people can get it and you can't make a living off it. You could be great, make a living off it, and then people just not vibe with it. You know what I mean? There's just so many ways to feel insecure. And the idea of being vulnerable and saying, this is who I am. And everyone just accepting it and saying, that's great. That's fine. You're good the way you are. It's a beautiful moment. That is why I believe Mob Psycho changed anime, because I had never seen an anime that popular, although Mob is probably not the most popular anime right now, but it's popular. Just take that kind of an approach, that kind of a pace, we're going to just focus on developing Mob. Yes, you'll see his powers. Yes, there'll be somewhat of a fight, but the real struggle was just between Mob and himself. And that's amazing. And that's why Mob Psycho is and will currently be my 2022 top anime of the year. And if you want to see my top anime of the year, be sure to check out this video. And if you want to see more Brian Casually Explains, check out this playlist. Thanks for sticking around. And if you haven't already followed, go ahead and hit that follow and then hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Peace.